Hello everyone, and thank you very much for joining this presentation. This paper titled Challenge of Projects Supporting Development of Smart Cities is actually aims to investigate how current approach to managing, developing and delivering projects might actually inform the specific challenge identified with the smart city projects. We all agree that with the diffusion of new technologies and accelerating development in many aspects of our daily lives, projects relating to smart cities development are evolving more than ever. In this research, we try to critically discuss and examine the challenge that development of smart cities imposes on the projects that support them. The first step in here would be to come up with a common definition for smart cities. Smart cities have been around for quite a while now, but it's still surprising the amount of different definitions that exist for smart cities. What we have done, we have looked at many of the definitions provided for smart cities by relevant authorities and well-referenced papers. And based on that, we've identified the following 6 main elements as the characteristics of smart cities, which can be seen in this paper, in this slide, being a smart economy, smart people, smart government, smart mobility, smart environment, and smart living. Based on that, actually, the concept of smart cities can be categorized into 3 distinct levels of technology and infrastructure, which basically talks about the need for the existence of the relevant technologies and the infrastructure within that particular environment to enable the development of a smart city. The human dimensions, which basically talks about the people who are the main users of these smart cities, and actually discusses that the main focus in developing any smart city project needs to be on the smartness of that city's citizens. And then the institutional dimension, which basically looks at the harmonized coordination of people, technology, and the government policies. In a wider aspect, we actually are talking about e-governments within the institutional dimension and how this actually enables the development of smart cities. Looking at that, actually the challenge associated with the development of smart cities can also be identified within those 3 distinct elements. Some of them are regarding only related only to the technology. Some of them are related to the people aspects of the smart cities, and some of them are the wider policies which comes from the institutions. Now, this paper, as discussed, is trying to discuss how these challenges associated with the development of smart cities and imposed on the projects, on those sub-projects, can be dealt with using the project management tools, techniques, and methodologies. Through the use of a qualitative and inductive method, a scoping review was utilized as the main research design. The relevant studies were identified, studied, collected, and summarized through this to produce an all-embracing view on the subject. On top of that, the smart cities challenges were mapped to the available project management techniques and the potential capacity for addressing these challenges and examine whether it's a viable option. As can be seen in this slide, it's been observed that the chosen project management methodologies, which can be seen at the center, the waterfall, agile program management, and project strategy are the four main elements that we considered, have the capability to fix majority of the issues that face smart cities, but simply not all of them, as these methodologies on their own lack certain elements to constitute accurate results within any given context. However, considering the modular levels and the skills required within these methodologies, if we think about concepts such as value management, benefits realization, people's engagement, innovation, actually, we can conclude that these methodologies do provide a basis, a rather strong basis for addressing most, if not all, of the issues arising from the development of smart cities. Accordingly, this research concludes with a proposal. It's a simple and flexible model for smart cities project development, which basically evolves around the value-centric approach. What is suggested is that increasing the social interaction among people, which are the users of smart cities, and emphasizing on the role of soft skills, entrepreneurial perceptions, innovation, and adapting new technologies would enable a very rigorous and holistic approach for developing smart cities. Arguably, this is what project managers in general might need to concern themselves. However, in order to address the challenges of any project, but within the context of smart cities, it becomes even more prevalent. This was quite an interesting research done a couple of years ago, which has been carried forward to feed into the ongoing research that is being done by colleagues within the school. And it seems that project management, in its entirety, has got the traditional project management has got huge capabilities that needs to be realized and fed into dealing with the challenge arising from any new technologies and innovations that are conducted, that are used within the built environment. Thank you very much for listening to this presentation, and I shall be happy to take any questions afterwards.